Ew, yeah, we don't get things out of the bin. That's where the yucky things go in, not out. No, don't eat it. Good morning, welcome to this week's video. You are in my live real kitchen. This week, what I've got planned is some cozy winter homemaking, warming up my household for my family of 5, and a loaded soup to last all week. If you can hear some metal clicking, it is a tape measure. You measuring? Are you measuring how big you are? Yeah. How big are you now? Oh, so tall. Let's jump into today's video. It's sunny on this chilly winter morning, and after feeding the kids some hot pancakes, we're going to get our day started. It's just me and the 3 boys home this morning. If you're new here, I live with my husband and my 3 boys aged 10, 6 and 1 in the Sunshine State of North Queensland. To set the mood for homemaking on this chilly day, I'm going to start off by making a simmer pot so that my home smells cozy and beautiful, to help me enjoy and romanticize those everyday tasks of cooking and cleaning while I go about my day. I've never made a simmer pot before, partially because 3/4 of the year it is humid and summer where I live, and the thought of adding some moisture to the air would normally make me cringe. But now that it's cooled off, I really am going to make the most of this season, so I thought a simmer pot would be a beautiful way to start the day. I'll link the recipe below, but as you already know, I didn't follow it. So I substituted what I had, because as a homemaker, I think that you should be resourceful and use what you have without having to spend your family's money unnecessarily. The first recipe I'm going to share with you today was a bit of an experiment, to be honest, and I wanted to use up some veggies that I had from last week, so we're going to do a make ahead breakfast. Can you guess what I used for the mini quiche bases? Keep watching so you can find out. We're going to start up by cubing our capsicum into smaller pieces so that we can evenly distribute them. Now, can you comment below and tell me, would you find it helpful if I wrote out my recipes for you? Or are you happy to take the inspiration, make a mental note, and then try making it at home? How does your brain work? Column A, column B. Comment below and let me know. Don't mind my cluttered table in the background there. This is real life, like I said earlier. This is a real house with 3 young children. It is not picture perfect, and that is okay for the season of life that I am in. I'm aiming to make a tray of mini quiches, so that's 12. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the 9 eggs that I have left. How much does a carton of eggs cost where you live? Can you share that with me? I normally like to buy free range, and they're around $5 a pop. What about you? Or do you have your own chickens? I'm considering it. We don't have a huge backyard, so where I would put them has been on my mind, but also the snakes they would attract, also on my mind. To keep this recipe really simple and easy to pull together, I'm going to use powdered garlic and then onion powder as well for some flavour, without having to go to the work of peeling onions and peeling garlic. So win-win. Had some Parmesan cheese on hand, so I'm going to throw that in. You could add grated cheese, or you can omit that completely. I'm just going to go ahead and use up what I already have in the fridge. It wasn't until I realised I'd be pouring these eggs out and my bowl doesn't have a little lip that I realised I could have saved myself some washing up. So I'm just tipping it out into a jug to make that easier for me to tip into each little muffin pan. Now here is the most delicious part. So instead of using puff pastry or short crust pastry, I'm going to use salami. I used sliced salami instead of shaved. Well, that's not true. I think I started with sliced and then I realized I didn't have enough and then I used some shaved salami that I had. And I did start with 1 piece for each little muffin pan, but 2 definitely like encapsulates it. It's a fancy word, isn't it? Encases it a lot nicer. And when these bake in the oven, the base of it gets really nice and crispy, and the parts on top that are exposed get really crunchy and salty. It is so good. These are definitely kid and husband approved. Time to add in our filling, and if you've got any fresh herbs, you can add that now too. Top it off with our egg mixture and bake until golden. It was at this point I realized that I had left pancakes in the oven and I found them when I was preheating the oven ready for our make ahead breakfast. So frisbee later, anyone? If you missed one of my most recent videos where I take you for a walk around my veggie garden up the hill, you would have seen I had some marigolds up there to attract some pollinators, and they smell really beautiful, these flowers. And I'm learning how to save seeds from fruits and vegetables and flowers as well as herbs. So I'm going to reuse this little gift bag. It's an organza bag, and I'm going to take my little dead head off of my marigold. And I don't know if you know this, comment below if you did, because this was new to me because I'm new to gardening and experimenting with growing things myself. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see. So inside a marigold, if you split that open, they're like beautifully shaped seeds. They're almost like little javelins, little spears, a little dart with a little embellishment on the back there, and these can get windswept through your garden and then keep growing and growing and growing season after season. But I just wanted to plan on saving these seeds because, well, one, seeds can cost you money and be expensive if you're planting a few things at once. So why not just keep the seeds of something that you already have? So I've got some variegated sort of styles. These were just the plain orange that I had just by the window, but I do plan on saving the seeds from my other style of marigolds as well. So I was going to, hang these upside down, but I don't know about you, but my kitchen window, it gets quite windy from the ocean breeze that comes through that side. So it can blow dead leaves and flowers and heads off, and it just gets messy on my kitchen bench. It looks beautiful and picturesque and very cottagecore to have flowers drying upside down, but just not too practical over there. If you were to use a sandwich bag, it could lock the moisture in and they would go moldy. The humidity here tends to do that to things quite easily. So I'm just going to pop the dead heads of the flowers into my little gift bag and massage them until all the seeds dislodge, and I will leave some whole as well just to help remind me on what color that I've got there in this little bag, and then I will save other little gift bags for the other style of flowers as well. This was such a relaxing task to do. Wish I had a cup of hot tea to go with me there. But it felt really nice to just sit there and just slow down and take that pace and smell the flowers. They smell so good, so beautiful. I do have a plan for these as well in an upcoming video, and how I plan on using the dried whole version of these flowers. So please subscribe if you haven't already. If you feel like you're having fun so far hanging out together in my kitchen, please subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Don't forget to hit that bell too so you get a notification. I will try and upload every Sunday. Now that I've finished saving those seeds, our little make ahead breakfasts are all done, and you can see the ones on the right that have got the 2 pieces of salami. They ended up so much nicer than some of the others. I need a new oven. Obviously heating unevenly with the way that some of those eggs turned out, escaping for dear life, but they tasted great nonetheless. The next thing that we're going to make together in the kitchen is a loaded cauliflower soup that I can take to work for the week. I wanted to keep this really simple and easy. I found a recipe where I had all of the ingredients already in the pantry or fridge, and I will link it below. I didn't follow the recipe word for word, but I will link the inspiration. We're going to be roasting this cauliflower before we make our soup, And to cut down on cooking time, because I mean it would be easier to just oil the whole thing up as a whole head and shove that in the oven. You can see I'm thinking about that there. But I was like, no, I'll definitely cut it up. So I'm cutting it up into smaller pieces, but I do want to make some time for the aesthetics. And I'm going to slice some little mini cauliflower steaks as such, so like flat pieces, so that I can layer those on top to try and encourage my husband to eat this. To be honest, I want to make it look really appetizing to coax him to eat it, because he doesn't like cauliflower and he doesn't like soup. The rest of the pieces will be this size. I had the idea of adding a whole roasted onion to the soup to add a little bit of sweetness, and I was also going to add in some whole roasted garlic as well, so they can be caramelized within the shell and just add some more delicious flavor to our soup. Now that our vegetables are done, I'm going to add some chicken stock to a large pot based on 4 cups of water, a sprinkle of nutmeg, and I'm going to use up a lemon that's about to go bad. I'm going to do a few fresh squeezes of lemon juice as well. This helps to really brighten the flavors. We're going to add our roasted vegetables and bring this to a boil. Once the vegetables came to a boil, I just let that simmer away for about 15 minutes or so, and then it's time to puree until smooth. Now I did have the idea to roast the cauliflower on top of salami so that all of the spices and oils that come out of the salami would coat the cauliflower, because I did have some spicy bush salami. I've never seen it before at Coles, but that's what they had. So I had forgotten that I was going to do that, so I just quickly, while the soup was on simmer, threw a couple of slices in the oven and crisped them up, because like I said before, I wanted to coax my husband into trying this, which he did, and he actually did enjoy it, because normally he would just screw his face up and not get past the first mouthful, but he had a good crack at it. So I think it looked more appetizing than what he was expecting for just when you hear cauliflower soup. So what do you think? Do you think this looks more appetizing than just your standard pureed soup in a bowl? I think it looks pretty. So I crumbled up the crispy salami on top for some texture, a little bit of spice, because I thought that would be nice with the cauliflower as well. There's the lemon. And I raided some fresh chives from my veggie garden. And altogether, this was a really simple recipe to make. And being that it's the cooler months, keep your eye out for when you see a whole cauliflower on special. And if you're thinking, what am I going to do with that? Then you can just lock this away in your brain bank and make ahead some work lunch for the week. What do you think? Does that look good? I think it looks good. It was pretty tasty too. Definitely recommend making this recipe. Well, that's a wrap for this week's video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and for hanging out with me and for watching. I will link some other videos that I think you might like in the description box below. See you in my next video. Bye for now.